What's up, family? This week's Super Bowl coverage of Super Bowl 60 is brought to you by Compassion International, a great organization help saving kids out of poverty and
Mm,
showing them the light of Jesus as well.
yeah, it's amazing. Poverty sends this defeating daily message, right, Matt? You don't matter. That's what poverty can send to so many. And Compassion International's belief is that introducing children to their Heavenly Father is the most powerful way to stop this lie. And I think you and I both would agree with that. And since 1952, Compassion has been doing just that, releasing children from poverty, but not just from poverty, Matt, but releasing kids from poverty in Jesus' name.
Yeah, I mean that's so great because there's different types of poverty. There's financial, there's spiritual poverty,
Mm,
there's biblical literacy poverty. Like there's all kind of different aspects of that. But this kind of covers the bases on all of that as well. Where sponsoring a child, which I've known many players that have done this, my family as well, to be able
same
to
here. Yeah.
sponsor children and allow them to get not only fed physically but fed spiritually, and it's an amazing thing.
Yeah, we're so glad to have them as partners with us for our Super Bowl coverage here in San Francisco this week with Compassion International. You can join this urgent message and urgent mission and live out Matthew 25:40 by visiting the website compassion.com today. Go check them out, compassion.com with Compassion International.
What's up, y'all? Matt Forte here, and it's Super Bowl 60 week,
Yes.
and it's Sports Spectrum, and we're on it. We're on the scene, and I want you guys to tune in to this podcast that Jason did with the New England Patriots team chaplain. He's been in the locker room, he's been with the team, and he's been a part of the revamp this whole year. So I'm interested in the conversation you had with him as well.
Yeah, this has been great. A couple days ago, it was before the hoopla of everybody traveling to San Francisco. We got an opportunity to talk to both the Seahawks and the Patriots team chaplain. And if you want to hear the Seahawks conversation, that's available on all the podcast platforms right now as well. But this is James Mitchell. He's the New England Patriots. His actual title, Matt, is Director of Player Development. So he's employed by the team, as is the Seattle Seahawks team chaplain, Jonathan Rainey, both employed by the team, which is unique. There's only 5 teams in the NFL that actually have team chaplains on their staff. The Patriots and the Seahawks are 2 of those 5. And so James Mitchell, the director of player development, but also serves as the team chaplain and came over with Mike Vrabel from Tennessee. He was the Titans team chaplain for many years, and Vrabel came to New England, and so did James Mitchell. He tells that story and all about faith in the locker room of the AFC champion New England Patriots, and it's coming up right now. Take a listen here on Sports Spectrum. James Mitchell, it's always good to see you. Welcome back to Sports Spectrum, this time as a member of the New England Patriots. How are you, sir?
Wow, how time flies, right? A change is one of them.
It does. Time changes, time flies. Let's start with the Super Bowl, and then I want to get into your journey of coming to New England from Nashville with the Titans. But let's start with the Super Bowl. Describe the feeling of just being a part of a team that's in the Super Bowl. This is such a cool thing for you.
I don't know if it's really hit me yet because of the blizzard in Denver, So
Yeah.
I don't know. I sat at home last night and I got home in my recliner and I thought, first of all, you're from Hickory, Mississippi, population 500, and you're going to the Super Bowl. And so it was, it's kind of peaceful, really. Kind of peaceful. I'm pretty even keel. But it's just real peaceful, man. That I'm more excited for the players and coaches because they do the hardest work. All I got to do is stand. I mean, they do and hope they got a hot dog at halftime. So it's pretty easy, but it really is a blessing.
Those Mississippi guys don't like the snow too much. What was that like being on the field in that second half against Denver when that snow started coming down?
I'm trying to keep my language at the right, graceful way.
This is a family show, James, a family show.
Hey, brother, I've never experienced nothing like that now. No.
Really?
No. The snow was sideways.
Yeah.
And I don't care which way I turned, it was hitting me in the face like BB. So that was different. Hey, God prevailed, so we got a plan for it.
You did. Let's talk about your decision, the fact that you're with the Patriots. I'm guessing a year and a half ago, if I had told you this would be the case, you probably would have shook your head and said, nope, that's not happening.
I really didn't have any plan to come up here.
Yeah. Tell us how that came about. Obviously, Coach Vrabel, I would imagine, had a big say in
I got
that.
a call from Brave, and I thought he might be looking for someone to replicate my job that we did in the Titans. So I had some names, and he said, "No, I don't need any." And so I said, "Okay. Do you need me to help with someone you already have?" I said, "No, I'm gonna send you a package tomorrow." I said, "Okay then." So my wife really loves Brave. She spends a lot of time. We have 4 grandboys, and one of our grandchildren has some behavioral stuff, and so we would bring him to camp, and Brave would spend all day with him. He'll be back beside Brave at practice, and so that stole my wife's heart. And so from that point on, so I hung up the phone. She said, "Who was that?" I said, "That was Brave. He wants to come with him." She said, "Let's go." I said, "You don't know if we can afford it or not. I mean, what are you talking about?" She said, "Let's go." So, and she likes cold weather, and she's a history buff.
Okay.
I've seen some rock. Oh, Plymouth the Rock. I've seen Plymouth the Rock, and I've seen a whole lot of stuff I've never seen except in a book.
Yeah. Yes.
So that's kind of how I know. In the short term, that's kind of how we got up here, and I trust him. He gives me the freedom to be myself. I'm director of player development. Chaplain is part of my job description. I don't need no title. He trusts me to be who I am, and that's what's cool about it.
I love that. That's a relationship that's been built, obviously, for years when you came to the Titans.
Yeah.
You never were in the NFL until the Tennessee Titans opening took place. So can you take us a little bit back?
Well, the good Lord took me out of coaching football. I coached college football for a little bit over 14 years. So my last job was at Tennessee State, and probably should have never taken the job, but I was set on trying to get myself in a position to be a head football coach somewhere. And so nothing else mattered. My family didn't matter. And so there's where God took the rug underneath my feet and broke me to remake me and took me out of coaching. I didn't come out of coaching voluntarily. That's all I know. And so FCA offered me a job there in Nashville to be the director of their inner city ministry. And so I don't know nothing about no ministry. I still have some bad tendencies, which I like to cuss a lot. But anyway, and so, man, fast forward, I took the job, didn't know what I was doing. The Oilers moved to Nashville. So they asked me to be their team chaplain. I had no access. I would do Bible study in my pickup truck in the parking lot. We had a couples Bible study. They played in Memphis. I have to drive to Memphis, sit in the lobby until someone came and got me. I couldn't eat with them or stay. Do chapel and drive all the way back to Nashville. I used to be hot as fish grease driving back to Nashville, man. And so, but I did that for 3 years. In the last year, they let me come in and do a coach's Bible study. That's what Sherman Smith and I became best friends.
Yeah.
I got a chance to work with some guys like Bruce Matthews and a lot of guys, and so it worked because I didn't see why they wanted a chaplain, but I had no access, no game, no locker room, no nothing. And so when they called me at Duke, I was like, all I remember is, oh no, I'm not going back to that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I got into it. Now, my mentor Ken Hutchinson told me I asked him, I said, how am I going to do this? He said, treat it like you're coaching football, but you're coaching life. He said, build relationships and build relationships and see what God does the rest of it. I'll teach you the rest. That freed me up, man.
Wow.
I mean, I like churches, but church people are crazy. I'm not going to work. I didn't want to work in no church.
Sure.
And so I got the best of both worlds now. I'm in what I love, football, at the highest level. I never thought this. And God's let me coach life. And it's not my job to fix them, change them. It's to walk with them and see what God want to do with that particular person. But to build relationship stuff.
Yeah.
And I ain't real smart, but I can talk to a stump. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I think you're pretty smart. You got. Maybe you're not smart, but you got wisdom, James. That's what you got.
You know what that's called? OLD. Oh.
I know that one too. I'm in my 50s. I'm not where you're at, but I'm getting there. So I got it. I know. Well, let's talk about faith in that role. Maybe even start with the role. And you might have even described what that role is by saying, "Hey, my job is to build relationships and coach these people for life." But you have a title, and team chaplain is sort of part of that role. But what is that role? Director of player development, and maybe how it's evolved from the Titans to where you are now with the Patriots.
I work real close with our player engagement, Richie, and then we have a young lady, Hallie, that takes care of the family. So we work real close together, taking care of the team. What Brady lets me do a little extra, I do a lot of work with the coaching staff. So I'll stay late one night and just check on each one. I love Bible studies and chapel, but that's wonderful. But I want to build a relationship with everybody, not just the people that come to Bible study and chapel. And so, so you have to be intentional with your time. And so that's it's kind of hard to describe what I do because it entails. Literally, Ray lets me work with the whole department.
That's incredible.
From scouting to training room to equipment room to weightlifting. I mean, he lets me work with people, and so everybody in this building knows that I am available for you, whatever that looks like. And and then you want to grow them as leaders also. You have some leadership stuff in there, but mainly just making sure that we produce great husband, great father. Football can take care of itself. They get paid to play football. I'm not a good luck charm, and I'm not fired. Ain't my job to fire nobody up. If you can't get ready for this, your wood wet. You can't get fired up for this, your wood is wet. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So man, it's really a unique spot, and I think everyone is like this in the league. It's depending on what the head coach wants. That's kind of where the base it is. I hear what he wants, and then I go do it in my own way.
I love that because there's this saying, people won't care about how much you know until they know how much you care. And so much is about, because you can't really even begin to have gospel conversations or anything like that until the person trusts you or knows that you care about them genuinely, which it sounds like is what you're doing, whether or not they're, choosing to walk the path of faith or not. You're loving them either way. And then if that opportunity does come, it comes.
What's so cool about it, because I do work for the team. I'm not no post dude. All that grams and all that stuff. That ain't me.
You're not a social media guy.
No. I don't have to send in numbers. How many came to Bible study? I don't have to send in numbers. Okay, who came? How many numbers in chapel? None of that makes no difference. About building relationship. I ask God with every guy. Okay, why do you have me in this guy's life? That's kind of what my training from Hutch. Except for sometimes it may need to be like a uncle. Someone may be a father figure for all you know. And for some of them, I'll know which one is ready for the gospel and which one, the Spirit will let me know which one's ready to grow. And so, because what you want to do is replicate myself and then have them to minister to their teammates. That's when it's working. Our Bible study, it's probably the most conversation in any Bible study probably I've taught. I mean, they just, I throw out a question, they just start flipping and talking back with each other. But I think because we as older men, we don't be transparent to the younger enough. I try real hard to be very transparent in our setting. I have a guy in my office. That makes the gospel real.
Yes.
But I can tell you how I was transformed and continue to be transformed by this word. Because you really look at it, we all just a decision away from a fall. And we're not too far removed from our old life.
That's so true. No, it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to just go down real quick with one bad decision than it is to reclimb back up to where you're trying to get to. It's harder. Well, let's go into that because you mentioned Bible studies, and I would love to hear. And we like to talk to our chaplains every year around the Super Bowl just to see what faith in the locker room has been like during this season as the teams get ready to to go to Santa Clara and play in the Super Bowl. So tell us what that looks like from your perspective with chapel, with Bible studies, couple studies. Do you do coaches studies? What's prayer look like with the players? Tell us what all of that entails during the year and each week.
Well, Jay, you know I'm not going to tell you too much. You do know that.
Well, you can't tell us everything, but tell us what you can tell us.
You've been knowing me long enough. You know I'm not going to tell you too much, Jay. You know, Friday mornings we have coaches Bible study at 6:30 a.m. and then at 7:20, 7:30 we had a players Bible study before team meeting. My wife teaches the players' wives and girlfriends Bible study and the coaches' wives Bible study, and then we have a couples Bible study probably about twice a month. You know, about once every 2 weeks we have a couple Bible study, but that's not counting discipleship where you meet with guys one-on-one. My wife meet with some of the ladies one-on-one, you know, and that's the fun part about it. You know, the coaches, you know, we try to make the word, slow it down, and Bible study make it conversation. Chapel is sitting and listening. So I put together a sheet. We went through the book of Ecclesiastes this last off season, but now my problem is I like to chase rabbits. So I'll start one way and see a rabbit run by, and I'll get on and chase that rabbit. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so I've gotten to the point where if I see God going a different direction because of what my guy is saying in his answer, I just let it flow instead of being so worried about finishing that sheet. You know what I'm saying? I think we spent 3 weeks on one sheet. We finally finished, you know, but I don't care. It's the conversation, the transparency that may affect somebody's life. Maybe not today, but maybe tomorrow, because they thought about what their team made out of one of the, you know, the coaching staff. You know, and the coaching staff, they have coaches and in-house scouts and quality. We have a lot of, you know, different groups in the building. Training, anybody can come, you know, and so it's really let the word transform people's mind and heart. That's not my responsibility. My responsibility is to be available.
Yeah.
Through whatever.
Do you still do Soul Food Fridays? Is that what those Bible studies on Fridays, you still call it Soul Food Fridays?
I had a guy to come in and think, why are you going to be serving soul food at 7:20 in the morning? I said, but it got you to come, though.
You got him to come. That's incredible. I love that. I remember that when you were with the Titans, you talked about, a lot of the players talked about Soul Food Fridays when we had Wesley and Tannehill and those guys all talked about it, Roger Saffold. So I love that that's continuing. You've had guys, you know, there's a lot of guys on the Patriots who we've known even before you got there, like a Hunter Henry, who have been so outspoken, such ambassadors for Christ, and even been such a great PAO guy. And now you got guys like Drake and Travion Henderson and guys that are open about their faith. What does that mean to you when you see guys being so open in public? Because some guys are just, they want to keep that closer to the hip, but God calls us to go out, make disciples, be ambassadors, all those things. What does that mean to you when you see guys like Travion or Hunter or anyone really just being so open about their faith publicly?
That means they'll listen to the Spirit to tell them what to do. And for some of them, it may not, they're intentional with it because your Holy Spirit will alert you when you need to say something, when you don't. You know, and the guys have an unbelievable platform, bigger, and you're gonna be on the biggest stage, especially like where we're going now. And so people are gonna be listening. So we talk about taking advantage of your opportunity. No different in football. So take advantage of your opportunity. You'll know in your spirit when you're supposed to speak something or say something. I mean, you'll know in your spirit. So the teaching is that everybody learn what their spirit sounds like to them. Because those that don't like to talk too much, it'll have to be intentional. So are you going to respond to your spirit or not? By being obedient, right? So that's I'm glad all the speaking and stuff and opportunity, but man, learning to listen to your spirit. So I need to say something now. You know, and the growth of maturity shows how people are firm in their faith. That's what's fun to watch. I mean, they're gonna be a great husband, not a perfect husband, and a great father, not a perfect father.
That's right. Yeah,
That's
there's
what
only one
matters.
perfect father. That's
That's
right.
right. That's what
Well, let me
matters.
ask you this. Without naming names, because I'm always we want to protect, obviously, there's a sacredness, obviously, of the work that you get to do and who you get to work with and disciple. But can you share a story of someone, name the name if you want to, but obviously if you don't want to, that's totally fine, where you saw a player really grow in their faith, or maybe it was a coach this year that you just saw maybe kind of what was happening as you see these guys grow through their season. There's a lot going on, highs and lows. But maybe is there a story that you can share of someone that you just saw really, grow in their faith this season?
Well, you know, I probably look at it a little different. I don't really be looking because his outward self would change because of his inward change. So when you see a guy don't cuss as much as he used to, I mean, okay, he's being aware of his conversation. You see a guy that all of a sudden he's consistent in his morning Bible study. He done reached a 20-day streak. That means something. The spirit is stirring, is getting stronger and louder inside of it. You know, you don't have to inspect the fruit. The fruit gonna inspect itself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
that's true.
and so
Yeah,
I guess when in the relationship, because I am fortunate to have a relationship with all of them, you know where they start, okay? And then as time goes, you see, okay, something a little different here. He may be speaking up more in Bible study and sharing a lot more. I had one in Bible study. I thought he was mute. He ain't said nothing the whole time I've been here. And then I guess 2 weeks ago, he said something. I almost was speechless, like, wow. I mean,
he actually said
like,
something.
yeah, like where did this come from? But he's got more confidence in his faith. So that's one of my best ones that this guy ain't said nothing all year. Then all of a sudden, and said something profound now, and so it's in him. So that's the blessing, man, is that because of the relationship, you can see where they start and see where they're headed. I read something one day that said, teach and preach the gospel and sometimes use words. That's what's more important to me and how much they say. Okay, you can quote 20,000 Bible verses. That don't mean nothing. You ain't living one. This life is about application of this word, not just memory, and application. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yes.
I don't have to see. I don't have to ask you if you're saved, if your actions do look like you saved. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah, oh yeah, that's so good.
So yeah,
That's
I know. I mean, I know I do. I know I'm a little awkward. I don't do stuff like the norm. Probably that's probably how God made me like He was.
yeah, man. Well, God's got you right where he wants you to be. That's what I say.
100%. Now I've eaten more fish than I ever ate in my entire life. I've had
this,
more
this,
clam
this
chowder than ever.
Northeast food, man, that'll get you.
I do need some grease in my system, though. I Googled Waffle House and it said 100 miles away. I thought, Lord have mercy.
There's no Waffle Houses up here. I'm in Connecticut. We gotta go. We gotta go south or
Oh
west to
my
get a Waffle
God.
House,
Oh my
Mitch.
God.
I
That's
know.
unbelievable.
I know. Well, we got some good food up here. Hopefully, we get rid of this snow soon and it gets warm, and that'll be better. But listen, I appreciate your time. One
Yeah,
last
brother.
question that we like to ask, and I know it's early, so I know you haven't thought about this yet, but maybe you have, based upon chapel services and the consistency. But have you thought about what you might say to the team the night before? I assume your chapels are on Saturday nights. What you might say to the team at a chapel service before the Super Bowl?
I'm not going to tell you that, Dave. What are you talking about? No
You're giving
chance.
away some secrets. Well, hopefully you tell them about Jesus and how much he loves them. Well,
Oh,
this,
I thought chapel was to get them fired up for the game, brother. What are you talking
that's so funny that you say that because you're right. I mean, it's we've talked to other chaplains and sometimes they kind of consistent share their message, but other times, because the chapel service the night before the Super Bowl, you might get the whole team in that room.
Hey, bro. Like I said, I'm not a good luck charm.
Yeah, I know.
No, my job is to share this word. And when I bring speakers in, I say, look, we don't need no more motivational talk. I need to share this word. because maybe some of them last church time. For all we know.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
So yeah,
That's good.
Now, do they use maybe use a comparison sometimes? Yes, but the same game's gonna take care of itself. You know what I'm saying?
And the gospel doesn't change either, right?
And the gospel don't change, brother. Not at all. Not at all. No, sir.
That's good. Listen, I hope I get to see you. We're recording this the week before. As people are hearing this, it'll be Super Bowl week. I hope I get to run into you, whether it's at opening night or one of these media events.
Yeah,
but if not, I'm gonna take the drive from Connecticut up to Foxborough. It's only an hour and a half, 2 hours, and I'm gonna come spend some time with you, Mitch.
Let's do that, man. Let's do
now
that.
that you're closer, we need to do that. But
I
listen,
did not know you was in Connecticut. I did not know that.
when I worked at ESPN, I moved here, and then I never left. So I stayed here.
Oh, okay.
Right in central Connecticut, outside of Hartford. So
wow.
Not too far away.
Yeah,
but we'll have to get some food.
Man. That's good.
But listen, congratulations to you and the team. Obviously, just being a part of it is a big deal for the whole organization. But I'm happy for you, my friend. I know you got close with Tennessee, a year or so. But this one right here, you get to go to the big dance. So congratulations and all the best to you. Keep bringing that word, Mitch.
I'm getting a greasy burger as soon as I get to California.
And that's a great way to end this conversation. Thanks, Mitch.
All right, man. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.